The year was 1942. The Atlantic Ocean stretched endlessly, a vast, grey expanse where survival often meant the difference between life and death. Merchant convoys carrying vital supplies from North America to Britain were under constant threat. Below the waves lurked the German U-boats, silent hunters in steel hulls, striking without warning. Ships carrying food, fuel, and weapons vanished, as though the ocean itself had claimed them. The Allies were desperate, scrambling for solutions to counter this unseen menace. Amid this chaos, the British Admiralty tried every trick in the book. Sonar devices hummed across the decks of warships, depth charges were dropped with meticulous calculation, and codes were broken in rooms lit by dim electric lamps. Yet, the U-boats continued to claim lives and cargo at a staggering rate. Confidence was low, frustration high, and the ocean seemed to favour the hunters. And then, somewhere in the unlikeliest of places, a girl named Margaret, barely 19, armed with nothing more than chalk and a stubborn curiosity, noticed something most seasoned officers had overlooked. While others relied on complex instruments, Margaret's attention fell on the simplest things: patterns, shapes, and the way something as ordinary as chalk dust moved on a map or a chart. She had a knack for seeing the hidden connections between data points, the kind of thinking that made her colleagues scratch their heads and mutter that her ideas were stupid. Margaret wasn't a naval officer. She wasn't trained in the ways of the fleet. She wasn't even supposed to be in the room where strategic plans were made. She was a clerk, working long hours in a crowded operations office in London, filling out logs, tracing convoy routes, and keeping records. But her eyes were sharp, her mind restless, and her imagination alive in ways no one expected. While others saw numbers and charts, she saw patterns forming on the blank spaces, lines connecting points on maps like invisible threads. It started innocently enough. She doodled on a scrap of chalkboard during her breaks, connecting dots on convoy routes to see if anything jumped out. The officers around her laughed at first. "Stick to your filing," one said. "Don't waste chalk on daydreams." But Margaret's persistence refused to be ignored. Slowly, she began to notice a correlation, a subtle rhythm in the way U-boats moved, the timing of attacks, the locations of losses. It was faint, almost imperceptible, but it was there, and it was beautiful in its simplicity. Margaret's chalk began to tell a story that no expensive machine or sophisticated sensor could. She marked the routes of convoys and overlaid the reported sightings of U-boats, using nothing but thin white lines on black. Day after day, she refined her method, moving pieces of chalk across the board with a deliberate patience. Over time, she discovered that U-boat attacks were not random. They followed a pattern, dictated by currents, shipping lanes, and even moonlight. By early 1943, Margaret had a plan she could barely articulate without sounding insane. She believed she could predict U-boat positions before they struck. She believed she could turn the hunters into the hunted. But convincing the Admiralty was another matter entirely. Officers, hardened by years of war and the harsh realities of the Atlantic, were skeptical. A young girl with chalk markings? Ridiculous. Laughable. It's a child's game, some said. Yet she refused to stop, and that persistence would soon change everything. Her work caught the attention of a few forward-thinking officers, the kind who were willing to listen when the situation was desperate. They agreed to run small trials, applying her predictions to reroute convoys and plan counterattacks. The results were startling. Convoys that should have been sitting ducks arrived safely, and U-boats that should have escaped were ambushed. For the first time, the tide in the Atlantic showed signs of turning. What made Margaret's approach extraordinary wasn't the chalk itself, but her way of seeing the ocean. While sonar and radar measured what was directly in front of them, her lines and dots revealed what was coming, a step ahead of the enemy, invisible until the moment it was too late. In a war dominated by machines, by massive fleets and deadly torpedoes, it was the smallest tool, a piece of chalk in the hands of a determined mind, that began to make the difference. It was a reminder that sometimes genius doesn't roar. Sometimes it whispers quietly, unnoticed, in a corner of a crowded office, while the world is focused on explosions and battles. Margaret's chalk was not just a piece of dust and lime, it was a weapon, a key to survival, and an instrument that would change the fate of thousands of sailors and the course of the war. By mid-1943, The pattern she had uncovered was being applied across the Atlantic. U-boat attacks that had once been terrifyingly precise began to falter. Merchant ships, which previously had no hope against the deadly hunters beneath the waves, started to reach their destinations. Convoys moved with a new confidence, guided by lines drawn in chalk that seemed too simple to work. Officers who had once doubted Margaret now marveled at her insight. Some called it luck, some called it magic, but it was neither. It was vision, persistence, and the courage to see what others could not. And yet, for all its promise, her method was still fragile. A single miscalculation could send an entire convoy to the bottom of the ocean. A single stroke of chalk, misplaced or misread, could be catastrophic. The stakes were unimaginably high. Every mark mattered, every line held the lives of men in its balance. The chalkboard became a battlefield in its own right, a silent war waged with simple symbols against one of the deadliest threats of the war. Margaret's story is not just a tale of cleverness, it is a story of courage, of refusing to be dismissed, and of discovering that even in the darkest times, a single mind can illuminate a path to victory. It is a story of the ordinary and the extraordinary, of chalk and steel, of one girl whose stupid idea would make history. And this is only the beginning. The moment Margaret's chalk first touched the board, no one could have imagined the storm it would unleash beneath the waves. What began as tentative lines and dots soon evolved into a complex map of danger and opportunity. She didn't just track convoys, she predicted the hunters. Every mark she made, every connection she drew, revealed something the Allies had long struggled to see: the hidden patterns of the U-boat offensive. Her breakthrough came when she noticed a subtle but consistent correlation between weather reports and U-boat movements. Storm fronts, fog banks, and tidal currents were not just inconvenient obstacles, they were guiding the enemy, often dictating where and when attacks would occur. By overlaying these natural factors onto the convoy maps, she could anticipate where a submarine would be hours before it surfaced. But Margaret didn't stop there. She started experimenting with what seemed at first like a childish game. She drew imaginary lines of interception, marked probable attack points with X's, and calculated the paths convoys should take to avoid ambush. Her chalk became a kind of predictive engine, and the officers who had once dismissed her watched in disbelief as their losses began to shrink. Every day, she refined her method, learning from the mistakes of the past. If a convoy was attacked despite her predictions, she would study it obsessively, retracing the U-boat's path, noting the currents, the moonlight reflecting off the waves, even the timing of patrol aircraft overhead. It was meticulous work, painstaking, and invisible to the untrained eye. Yet it was this obsession with detail that turned her from an overlooked clerk into a strategist capable of outthinking one of the deadliest weapons of the sea. The chalk trick itself was deceptively simple, and that was its genius. Margaret realized that the key wasn't in complex mathematics or sophisticated equipment, it was in visualization. By representing potential U-boat positions as lines and patterns on the board, she allowed the human mind to see relationships that machines could not. A chalk mark might look insignificant, but it held the potential to redirect entire convoys, saving lives and supplies. The officers called it ridiculous, but every saved ship made the idea impossible to ignore. Soon, the results began to speak louder than skepticism. Convoys rerouted based on Margaret's predictions began to arrive intact. Escorts were dispatched to meet the U-boats at points she had identified, often catching them by surprise. The German submarines, which had once been the unseen terror of the Atlantic, now found themselves falling into traps with astonishing frequency. It was a game of shadows, and the Allies had suddenly learned how to anticipate the moves of a predator that had once seemed unstoppable. The impact on the U-boat campaign was immediate and dramatic. Allied shipping losses dropped, convoys moved faster and more confidently, and naval officers began to whisper about the strange, almost magical method behind the sudden turnaround. No one could believe that a young girl with chalk could wield such influence over the deadly game being played across the Atlantic. Yet the numbers didn't lie. By mid-1943, Margaret's approach was being adopted on a larger scale. Maps in command centers across the Atlantic were marked with her patterns, her predictive X's, and her intersecting lines. Ships that should have been sitting ducks were suddenly rerouted to safety. Submarines that had once struck without warning now faced ambushes engineered from a few inches of chalk on a board in London. It was as if the ocean itself had shifted allegiance. Margaret herself remained in the shadows, almost invisible despite the massive impact of her work. She never sought recognition. She didn't appear in the reports, didn't ask for accolades, and often worked late into the night, alone with her chalk and the faint scratch of its movement across the board. Her colleagues whispered about her brilliance, her uncanny foresight, and the way she could see what no one else could. Some officers called her a genius. Others were more practical. "She's just lucky," they said. But luck had nothing to do with it. Every line, every mark, every prediction was born of observation, intelligence, and relentless determination. Her methods weren't limited to rerouting convoys. She began to anticipate the timing of attacks, suggesting when ships should sail and when they should wait. She noticed the smallest details: a submarine's typical speed when approaching a convoy, the patterns of patrol aircraft overhead, even the effects of moonlight on the water. Each of these observations, integrated into her chalk maps, created a predictive system that no sonar or radar could match. It was, in essence, human intuition amplified by visualization. The Germans themselves began to feel the shift, though they could not explain it. U-boat commanders reported strange encounters. Convoys seemed to vanish into thin air, patrols intercepted them at unexpected points, and ambushes they never saw coming left them vulnerable. Losses mounted faster than they could adapt, and the fear that had once gripped the Atlantic now included uncertainty. For every ship they sank, 3 more slipped through their grasp. Margaret's chalk trick wasn't just a tool of survival, it became a weapon of acceleration. Convoy losses, once steady and horrifying, began to drop precipitously. U-boat sinkings increased, often threefold, because the Allies could now position destroyers and aircraft in precise interception points. The tide of the Atlantic War was turning, and the world above the water had no idea that the change had come from a young girl wielding chalk in a dimly lit office. It wasn't without danger. Every prediction carried immense responsibility. One misplaced line could result in disaster, and Margaret felt the weight of it every night. She lived with the knowledge that her calculations were not abstract, they were lives in balance. Yet she pressed on, driven by a mix of duty, curiosity, and the quiet thrill of outthinking an enemy that had seemed unbeatable. Her chalk became more than just a drawing tool. It was a symbol of resistance, of ingenuity, and of the unexpected ways one person could alter the course of a global conflict. Officers and sailors who had once dismissed her contributions now relied on them. Convoys were safer, U-boats were being sunk in record numbers, and the Atlantic, once a graveyard for thousands, became a stage where one clever mind held the upper hand. And still, Margaret remained largely unknown, her work quietly reshaping history. The story of the chalk trick, the maps, and the predictions would eventually come to light, but for now, it was a secret victory, a triumph of intellect over brute force, a reminder that sometimes the simplest tools wielded by the sharpest minds can accomplish what fleets of battleships and tons of explosives cannot. The Atlantic was changing, the U-boats were faltering, and all because of chalk, a tool so mundane, so easily dismissed, became the instrument of a turning point that no one in London or Berlin could have foreseen. By late 1943, the Atlantic had become a different place. The invisible game of hunters and hunted had shifted, almost imperceptibly at first, then with staggering speed. Convoys once considered doomed were arriving safely, laden with supplies that sustained the fight in Europe. And beneath the waves, German U-boats were struggling to adapt, caught repeatedly in ambushes they could not predict. All of it traced back to the chalkboard in a small London office, where a young girl named Margaret had refused to be ignored. Her methods, once dismissed as foolish, were now the backbone of convoy strategy. Admiralty officers relied on her predictions, warships were dispatched to interception points she had charted, and aircraft patrols were timed according to her markings. Each line, each X on the board, was a pulse of intelligence, an invisible web guiding life and death across thousands of miles of ocean. The Germans noticed too. U-boat commanders began reporting a baffling series of failures. Convoys vanished before their eyes. Ships that should have been easy prey slipped through nets of destruction. Even their own intelligence networks could not explain it. The Allies had found an edge, a method that seemed almost supernatural. But it wasn't magic, it was insight, human ingenuity amplified by a stubborn refusal to accept the impossible. One night, in the dim glow of a London office, Margaret made a mark on the board that would change everything. She traced a line through the Atlantic, connecting convoy routes, weather patterns, and known U-boat positions. Her hand hovered over a critical point, a predicted meeting spot where a group of German submarines would converge. With a final stroke of chalk, she marked it, a simple X that carried the weight of countless lives. The result was extraordinary. Allied forces, acting on her calculations, intercepted the U-boats exactly where she had predicted. Depth charges exploded beneath the waves, torpedoes were dodged, and 3 German submarines were destroyed in a single, coordinated strike. The success was unprecedented. In that one night, Margaret's stupid chalk trick had made the sinking of U-boats 3 times faster than anyone had thought possible. Word of her success spread quietly among the officers. Some were in awe, some still refused to fully believe it, but the numbers could not be denied. The U-boat threat, once a relentless nightmare, was faltering. Merchant convoys were safer, morale was higher, and the war effort in Europe received a critical boost. And all of it traced back to a young woman whose curiosity refused to be stifled, whose insight transformed chalk into a weapon more effective than steel. Margaret's brilliance lay not just in her method, but in her courage. It was one thing to see a pattern, it was another to insist on acting on it, to challenge centuries of naval tradition with a simple idea that seemed laughable. Every success carried with it risk, every stroke of chalk a gamble with lives on the line, and yet she never hesitated. Her calm determination, her focus under pressure, made her a force unlike any other in the war. In time, her work became part of the secret lore of the Atlantic campaign. Convoy planners studied her patterns, naval officers adapted her methods, and the German U-boats continued to struggle against an enemy they could not see, a mind that anticipated their every move. Margaret remained in the background, her contribution largely unrecognized outside those who worked with her. Yet the impact of her work was undeniable. She had changed the course of battles, saved thousands of lives, and turned what had once seemed like chaos into a game she could predict and control. Her story is a reminder that history is often shaped by those who refuse to be confined by expectation. It is shaped by courage, by imagination, and by the willingness to see the extraordinary in the ordinary. A piece of chalk, dismissed by skeptics as a trivial tool, became an instrument of survival, strategy, and triumph. It turned the tide of a battle that spanned thousands of miles, proving that sometimes the simplest solution is the most powerful. The war continued, as wars always do, with battles won and lost, with heroes rising and falling. But in the story of the Atlantic, one young girl's chalk trick stood as a testament to ingenuity, persistence, and vision. It was proof that even in the darkest, most dangerous times, a single mind could illuminate a path to victory, and that courage and cleverness could tip the scales in ways the enemy never imagined. Margaret's legacy is quiet, almost invisible but profound. Every ship that reached its destination safely, every convoy that avoided destruction, every U-boat sunk faster than anyone expected, carries a trace of her insight. It is a story of the unassuming, of brilliance that operates in the shadows, and of a moment in history when a stupid idea became the key to survival. And so, when the Atlantic waves continue to crash against the hulls of modern ships, when stories of the war are told in hushed tones and reverent voices, remember the young girl with chalk in her hand. She changed the rules of the game, outsmarted a deadly enemy, and reminded the world that genius can come from the most unexpected places. In her hands, chalk was no longer simple dust. It was hope, it was strategy, it was victory. The ocean remembered, the U-boats remembered, and history, finally, would remember Margaret.